Do you know they have magic buttons on your feet? I'm going to show you how to find anything you need to find from the real body in the little tiny reflex body, so you can poke that little magic button and help yourself feel better. Here's a reflex map which accounts for every single gland, organ, and part of the body. If we take this map and we just memorize the shapes and the labels and we kind of superimpose it on a foot, we could really just find our way around and start pressing the reflexes that matter. But I want to show you a way that you can actually look at the whole feet as if 2 feet together are the entire body, so that you can actually imagine reflexes that may not be on a chart, like maybe a scar or something that's unique to a particular person that may have been born without a particular organ. So what I want to do here is compare our reflexology chart to the skeleton, the shape of the human body, and from the bottom of the feet, which is plantar, so here's the soles down here, for the bottom of the feet, when the 2 feet are put together, pretend there's like a little line of glue between them and they just stick right together and they make one unit. This one unit from the toes, which are the head, to the heel, which is the pelvis, is the same as this head to pelvis. Okay, so from the cranium down to the pelvis down here. And then all of the organs, as they happen to be aligned inside the body, they're aligned the same way inside the 2 feet, as if all the organs in the right side of the body end up in the right foot. All the organs on the left side of the body end up in the left foot. So if you pretend you have x-ray vision, you can see all the organs inside the body, right to right foot, left to left foot, from head to pelvis. That's basically what you get here for a chart. So let me show you that on the feet for a second. If you want to come on over, I'll show you the bottom of the feet. If the 2 feet are together, and I'm pretending they're glued together and they are one unit that represents this one body, then my client's right side of her body will be in her right foot. The left side of her body will be in the left foot as reflexes. So for instance, we have a liver on the right side, the liver's in the upper abdomen, and so here it is on the right foot as a reflex. The spleen is in the upper abdomen on the left side, and so as a reflex, it's going to be on the left foot. Okay, so they're not identical. They'll represent the whole body, and side to side, the whole body's not identical. Here's some landmarks though. This is what's going to make things a little bit easier to find things. The 2 toes together, the 2 big toes together, pretend they're stuck together, that's the main head and neck reflex, which means when they are separated out like this is half of the main head and neck, this is the other half of the main head and neck. These other ones are just extra, so they still have reflexes that would be things that are up in the head and neck, like eyes and ears and sinuses, but they're just broken out so it'll be a little bit easier to find in those like extra little head and neck reflexes. So the main head and neck are the 2 big toes, is separated into 2 different parts. Immediately below the head and neck is this little shelf area on the foot. Okay, it's this little shelf area here as a reflex, and it's this shelf area on the body, okay, or this shelf area on the body. It's called the neck and shoulder ridge, and that's the first transverse division, the first cross division. The next cross division is the base of the ball on the foot, We've got that along both sides. It's actually this division, it's this division, it's this division, and that's the diaphragm. So essentially, this diaphragm division in the real body makes a little reflex diaphragm dividing the ball of the foot from the arch of the foot. That allows for the entire arch of the foot to be the abdominal organ reflex area. So this whole this whole area, this nice and open, a convex curvature, concave curvature, that's all organs that are below the diaphragm that go down to the pelvic line. Okay, and then the pelvis will incorporate both the hip bones and the sacrum and behind, so the heels are the pelvis. So what we have from this then is head and neck, chest and breast, upper abdomen and lower abdomen, and pelvis, and we should have feet that come down, or legs that come down off the bottom of this, as if they would come down off the chart, as if they are coming down like they do on the skeleton, but those don't exist there. So we'll come to those in a second. That'll be the legs, okay? In the meantime, the arch that has all of the abdominal organs, there's a landmark that you can find where the imaginary waistline would be as a reflex. And what you do is you feel along the outside of the foot until you come to a little bony protrusion. That's the 5th metatarsal. It's a process that sticks out. If you go directly across from where that sticks out, that's your waistline reference. And that helps you because any organ that's above the reflex or above the waistline of the body is going to be above that little bony landmark. So stomach and pancreas are going to be the upper abdominal area, the liver, gallbladder, kidney. But anything below that little bony process is going to be the lower abdominal region as a reflex. And so that's small intestines, it's the reproductive organs, it's bladder. Okay, so we have things that are above or below in the upper or lower abdominal areas in the body those in the feet as reflexes are divided by this bone on the side, which will show you where the waistline is. And then the other natural division is the heel line for the pelvis. Okay, so as to those legs that should be dangling down here, and they're not, where do they go? They actually end up on the side of the foot, and it's like a person who's kneeling. So I'm going to show you that. It's going to look like this. It'll look like a kneeling person, a second perspective, where the hips are around the ankles, and in fact this whole groin area, and medial hip, lateral hip, and then the folded leg, which on a reflex chart just looks like a triangle. It's called the hip and leg triangle, so it's all up on the side, but it's because of the position of the person who's kind of kneeling with a bent leg. So what would be dangling down here is not, instead is tucked up on the side as a bent leg. And then finally we have reproductive reflexes on either side of the heel bone, sides of the heels below the ankle bones, and we've got a few other reflexes that are on the top of the foot, which would be like you're looking at a mirror but close up. So that's the front of the chest, like pectoral muscles, also lymph drainage points and lymph reflexes are in there. So that's the top of the foot, as if it's the front of the body surface. And those are how you can find the whole body as reflexes.